Hey, the massive problem that I have had whilst getting this bike is getting it restricted. And you wouldn't think that's the case with it being the law. It's a part of my license, so I have to get it restricted. Yeah, it has been such a huge trouble trying to get this to happen. Now the problem with it is that there's this whole malarkey going on about needing to get a certain certificate, and that the majority of garages that have been actually attaching these, buying these certificates is from a company called FI International. Now FI International, like I said, provide these certificates as well as the power restrictor to your bike, sorry, to the garage for your bike, and they buy parts from a German company called Alpha Technic. If you are wanting to get this specific certificate and part, or this part at least, I don't know if you get the certificate as such, because I've not actually bought them, buy your part from Alpha Technic, and you'll see why, if you really want one, you get it from there and not from the FI or any other place. So this certificate has so much controversy about it. People say their insurers are asking for it, although it's not a legal requirement. There is no act or law that backs up the point of needing this certificate. In fact, it's actually a load of baloney. These certificates are literally just money-making things by companies, because, like I say, it's forgeable and there's no hard evidence needed to back it up, you know, of actually needing one. There's two types of restrictions as well. There's your old law before 19th of January 2009, which meant that you could get a bike of any power at the age of 17 as long as it's restricted to 33 brake or 22 kilowatts. And then that meant that you could literally, you know, after 2 years of riding, your license would be uplifted, and then you could get on any bike, take out your restriction, job was done. Now the second restrictor is the one that I'm on, the 35 kilowatts or the 46.6 stroke 46.9. Now the reason why I said that is because no one actually knows whether it's 0.6 or 0.9. I just round it off to 47 because a lot of people just say 47, except from the restrictors restricted to a decimal point apparently. I have no idea. A lot of people seem not to have a clue. And the one, if you're on the A2 license, the one you want is the 46.6.9, 47.47, sorry, brake horse, or 35 kilowatt, etc, etc. Not the 33 brake, or 20 something kilowatt. I think it's 22 or 25, because that one's for the old law, not your new one. And the difference between the two is literally the diameter of the hole in the washer. Your 35 kilowatt is bigger than your 25 or 22. This is how confused it is, even I don't know, and I've done shit ton of research in it. Don't know the exact values. So yeah, the big deal about it is everyone, including dealers, believe you have to get it with a certificate of fitment, which really isn't the case. And the reason why I know that is because my insurance company are actually asking me to provide something with regards to having a restrictor now. Not a lot of actual companies do. So I've been told after talking to many people. The only thing that they want is for me to write an email and say, yep, I can confirm my bike's restricted. That is literally all they want. No certificate, no bullshit, literally just my truth. I'm young and I'm dumb, and I know what it's like to obviously want to not be restricted, want to do it as, you know, max out the engine and have a load of fun and this huge adrenaline rush. Back to this whole certificate thing. So yeah, they started rolling out certificates to these companies and say, oh yeah, your insurance company won't accept it until you've got this certificate. But the thing is, a lot of companies aren't even asking for a certificate. Now mine did, which is why I've done the research into it all. But they're not asking for a certificate, they're asking for a proof of fitment. Now you can't actually prove it because a dyno test isn't eligible as evidence. You can't use those. And even then, an invoice from the guy that, you know, fits my stuff, the guy that I go to do my mechanical work, even that's not allowed. So it literally just has to be something off of my back and some writing on in the email saying, yep, it's been done. And I can see why that's the case, because then everything's down on me then. It's my insurance, I've said whether it's restricted or not, they can void it much easier. Makes sense. But the one thing you do not want to buy is a certificate. There's a guy on eBay called Kickstarter Engineering who does provide certificates in case they are asking for an actual certificate and not just an email like mine. I mean, I've not heard of any other company asked for it besides one that I'm with, which is Wicked Quotes. But if they do, he does provide certificate of fitment, which is RSA certified or something, which will require a signature from, I believe it's a VOSA and MOT registered garage. So it does need their stamp or signature, probably preferably their stamp. But that's a £60 restriction, simply a washer with holes in it, just like the one you're going to get from F&I. That's fully legal. Whereas the F&I people are charging £179 for a power restriction and certificate that no one gives a toss about. So that's just a little heads up really. I've spent so many phone calls and hours trying to find out the reasons behind all this lot, and you know, Motorcycle News did a report on it about it being fake. You could get them off eBay for 18 quid. When, you know, the whole thing was introduced in 2000 and whatever the hell it was, I can't remember now, there's too much shit going on. And you know, they just say, yep, it is crap. There's no legality behind it. Like I say, not a lot of insurance companies actually ask for it anymore. Mine did, or a proof of fitment anyway, which in their eyes was just a nice little email. So that's what it's all about. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't run the risk because it's a bit daft really, but you can do if you want to. It's taken me a long time to find out, but I've found out and I've saved myself 200 quid, you know, so it is definitely worth picking up the phone, having a few phone calls, seeing what everyone says and working around it that way. Anyway guys, the weather looks like all of a sudden drastically changed and I'm going to get drenched, so I'll leave you be. Have a nice day and I'll see you in the next vlog.